Waking up at 12:14. Talk so much all night that I forget how to breathe. Making sure that you're okay. Hope it's not too hard when I reply with a light. Lately it's been hard to dream. The story's all messed up and I don't wanna repeat. Excuses we make day and day. Please don't think that we're the same exact way. This might be alright. So maybe we can say goodbye just tonight. I really don't want to fight. I'm trying my best.
YouTube fam, what's happening? What is going on tonight or this evening, depending on where you are? Glad to have you here for another one. Um, Talk with Frank Gooden has been off the air for a little while. So, and you see, well, I'm a little dressed down. Let's see, which way should I roll with this cap to the back? A little dressed down for this one because we're into subverting expectations for this show. This is going to be a really interesting show. But as always, it's so glad to have you as you decide to kind of join in and see what we're talking about. Um, you see that we have a topic here that I think is going to be one that, at least hopefully, my intention is that we kind of maybe try to have a conversation about level setting the expectations level for what's kind of going on when it comes to dating. And I'll probably talk a little bit more about that as we go. Many of you, let me do some shout outs real quick. So Shanita, day one, coming in, history going way back as well. Glad to have you here. Joining us. Thank you for all the support every time. Let's see. Adrian coming in from the other coast. Adrian, I believe Adrian, you are, type in the chat. If I'm not mistaken, you are on 2011. Hold on real quick. Shanita, 2011. And for those of you who are maybe just sort of joining or just getting acquainted with me, some of you may know that I'm actually producing a live production on my other channel called Life or Death. And I'm very excited about that project. I won't use much time here talking about it, but Shanita auditioned for one of the roles not too long ago, did a great job. And we talked about on that channel how we first crossed paths here in Jacksonville with my first feature film. I don't have a copy of it here. I'll grab it in a minute. Love Trap, where I was doing a number of shows, a number of screenings here in Jacksonville, and she came to one of the screenings. Love Trap, I'm gonna brag a little bit. Love Trap went on to win Best Feature Film at 4 Black Film Festivals. After that time, it was picked up by First Look Studios and was properly exploited by them. So it's been kind of all over. So anyway, Shanita and I go way back, way back, 2011, 10 years ago. And I was gonna ask, going down and doing my shouts here. I was gonna ask Adrian. Adrian, so are you on the West Coast now? Are you in California or are you on the East Coast? In the chat, I'm just kind of wondering where you are. Always good to see you, Adrian. Adrian, you always try to throw me off. You're always trying to throw me off on my live stream. So let's see what kind of curveballs you got today, Adrian. Alan R. Hey, what's happening? Glad you could make it. Some shouts. We got Monique deciding to come in and join us. Glad to have you, Monique. Looking around, throwing the eyes, checking things out. Glad to have you here so you can kind of see what's going on over here with this channel. It's so funny. Many of us, I found here on today happens to be a Friday evening, and a lot of people streaming right now. A lot of our colleagues have streams up, so it's a lot of different things you guys could be checking out here on YouTube. So I appreciate you at least rolling this one. Let's see. Appreciate it, Shanita. Everyone should check out the movie. It's on YouTube, and she's right. Love Trap is on YouTube, and I may even share the link at some point. Somebody remind me. We'll probably be on for roughly an hour with this topic. So somewhere at the end, somebody remind me so I can share the link on YouTube. This is a film that I made 15 years ago, and I always like to check in and see what Generation Z is doing with this movie, and it's get into the comments, and it's always funny to see how people, how the messages in the film are translating, and they're doing quite well. And it's always interesting to see the reactions, that people have to the characters. There's not a lot of movies out here like Love Trap. Just being real with it. Adrian, okay, you'll be in Cali. Okay, you're gonna be in Cali next week. So I think you're in Georgia then, Atlanta or something like that, Adrian. All right, Ellie in. Hey, how you doing? Glad to have you here. We're getting ready to jump into this topic a little bit, but I'm waiting on my debate partner in crime to come in as well. So as soon as she's ready, we'll get things popping in that direction. Adrian. Okay, I think I saw that one already. You must have posted that twice. Okay. So yeah, so just real quick, I want to give a quick update for those of you who have auditioned for Life or Death, and I'll be doing some more live streams on that when we do callbacks. This weekend is when I am going to go ahead and take the opportunity to review all of our auditions, begin some initial possible matching for the auditions to the characters. For those of you, because I don't talk about it much over here on this channel, but I'm casting for 25 total characters. There are 5 main characters, but still 20 supporting characters of varying degrees. So I'll start my callback process this weekend, and I'll probably start contacting people who I'd like to read for the various roles. I'm laughing because I see my partner in the back. I'm about to bring her up in a second. I'm going to start contacting you all so we can start going live with our callbacks. And those are going to be really, really fun. This Life or Death project, I'm telling you guys, it's going to be something serious. It's going to be something serious. And I have to shout out before we get rolling, the big boss moderator, Gail Lockett. I light up whenever I see you, Gail. Gail, you are a special, special woman, special individual. Got a chance to learn a little bit more about you when you popped in somewhere else. I don't know if that's something that we're talking about now with you're making the appearance. I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna zip it if I can't talk about it. But Gail, you the truth. There is not a single moderator on YouTube that's better than the Miss Gail Lockett. Yeah, you're gonna get some shouts on that one. So always glad to have you here. Throwing a little bit of mod skills in there. My channel, Gail, as you can see, is easy. It's easy like Sunday morning. So you don't have to work too hard over here. But always all love all day. Now when things get to popping though, Gail, it's gonna be a little different. So without further ado,
Hi.
I will bring up my sharp, ridiculously present, completely on point debate partner, always ready for anything that anybody may bring, Miss Jen from On the Block with Jen. And you see, she is rocking the bonnet. So we are ready to dive into what we have to talk about. Jen, you want to say something?
Hello, everybody. Good to see you as always. Missed y'all. We haven't seen y'all in a while. And yes, I'm here in the bonnet because we're talking about expectations today, right? And, gentlemen have a lot of expectations, so I'm like, I'm going to match what I see, I'm gonna match what I see. So just to give you a quick preview, ladies, when I hear a man say, well, I need to go 50-50 on a date, this is how I'm showing up. This is my 50-50.
I can't wait. I can't wait. So I'm finishing up real quick the little house cleaning with Life or Death. So guys, get ready on Life or Death on the other channel. There's some special things going to go on with that one. And as you can see, we're being really laid back. This is a Friday evening, getting ready to go into the weekend. Got a nice subject that I think we can have fun with, and we're going to see kind of where this one takes us. You know what, Jen? I'm going to start here by kind of stating sort of how I attack this particular question that we have up. That's cool.
Ready.
All right. So yeah, and guys, I'm going to drop this link because really I welcome you guys to call in at any point. We're going to pull you right up. This isn't a situation where, Jen and I are going to have these long monologues for this one and then invite you guys up later. Instead, I'm going to, let's see here if I can post this right now. Drop this link in the chat if you want to call up. And I think I can pin it. I may pin it a little bit later. And if you have an objection to anything that I say or Jen say, you know how we roll. You know what? Let me just talk a little bit about that. For those of you who are new, this is Objections. This show is designed primarily for respectful yet passionate debate about our subjects. We want to create a space where you all, anyone, ourselves, you can come in and be your authentic self when it comes to your opinion about anything. We know and we expect that not everybody's going to agree with everything that anybody else has to say. And so we want the way that, for me personally, the way that I learn from people is by allowing people to express authentically whatever, speak their conscience, speak their piece on whatever the issue is. And even if they're passionate about it, bring it. But what happens is all too often is we see a breakdown. When people do that, somebody gets triggered, somebody gets offended. We see it all over these YouTube streets. And before you know it, the conversation is breaking down without having even had an opportunity to go somewhere. So Objections is all about bringing your objections, but doing it respectfully. Jen and I have been at this for a minute now, and we've been making some good progress. Anything you want to add on that one, Jen, before we dive in?
I'm ready to go because we have to explain what's going on here. I know people look at me like, what the hell is she referring? And I'm just coming in for the theme of the show because, again, men have a lot of expectations. So I'm going to meet them where they are.
Okay. All right. So without talking too much about it, when it comes to the expectations in this title, I am coming at it from the perspective of someone who is in the dating game, who was trying to find somebody who I can end up marrying one day. That's like the ultimate goal. Not saying that I'm trying to meet somebody I'm going to marry tomorrow, but I'm trying to meet someone who is suitable, who I would consider to be suitable for marriage. So for me, and maybe for most people, or a lot of people, the general idea here is not dating expectations. We're not trying to date just to date and go around and jump and date and play around. Dating expectations meaning looking for something that's serious. And so for me, at least I want to make sure I put that out there so that people understand, the track at least that I'm on. So when it comes to these dating expectations, part of the reason why, Jen and I don't necessarily kind of roll like we're rolling right now, dress down a little bit. We like to be a little bit more professional in appearance, or at least, maybe slightly more dressed than we are right now. And the part of that is because we want to kind of subvert these expectations. Are they ridiculous? Do men go out having expectations, unrealistic and ridiculous expectations on the ladies when it comes to dating, just in general, and vice versa? And so are we setting ourselves up in a way for failure in this dating game, in finding a mate, a potential life partner? Are we setting ourselves up for failure right off top? Are we doing that? That's what we want to explore right now. Did I share the call link? Because I'm looking here. Let's see.
To watch.
Were you trying to share the call in? I don't know. Let me just do it one more time, Gail. Since I'm stopping here, I'm just going to do it one more time.
You shared the YouTube link.
Oh, okay. Okay. My bad. There we go. All right. So that should be the call in link right there. All right. So expectations. Let me start for me by putting it like this, Jen. All right. So I think that we all have maybe we can kind of categorize this into a number of different ways. What we want, we all have wants, when we find someone, or when we're out here looking for someone, in terms of what we want in someone else. And I think that we are entitled, every single one of us are absolutely entitled to what we want, what we like, what attracts us in someone else. Mm-hmm. And then maybe another. So, I'm gonna stop there because I'm gonna talk about wants, for example. So for me, you want, generally speaking, for guys, we want someone who's attractive to us, personally here. We want somebody who is going to that fits with our lifestyle or fits with us, generally speaking, easygoing personality wise. And then, and can help us in some way. I'll speak personally. That's sort of what I'm looking for. What I mean by help, just meaning support. um, you know, can you see the mission that I'm on? And can you get on that same page in some way that does not pull me off mission, throw me off? And so, those sound simple, and until we get out here and start trying to find out whether or not people fit that. One thing that for me is kind of a bugaboo, I guess you might say, is that I also, when it comes to the personal attraction, for me, I I want to know what I want you to be authentic. I don't want to, in terms of the look I'm talking about, I don't want you to, my expectations are that if I'm going to be attracted to you, I want to know what you look like. So these eyelashes that for whatever reason seems like that's the thing in these social media streets. I mean, I don't need that. I don't need the crazy extension or the weaves or anything. And I don't need a face mask where you're showing me somebody else. It's almost like you're trying to trick me into thinking that you're cute, in general. And it's like a lot of people, you like straight up, it's like a trick me thing. And do I really, in just terms of basic pure, do you look like what you are presenting to me that you look like right now? Very basic, but is that ridiculous? Are those kinds of dating expectations ridiculous right off top? I'll stop there and kind of throw it to you and either let you respond or you can talk about some of your basic wants.
I'll respond. First of all, hello, chat again. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Adrian, to answer your question, this perm is not going to keep itself. So I know plenty about bonnets. Let me answer you now, Mr. Man. Okay. I heard everything you said, right? Sound cool. So with that said, I could show up like this. Yeah. Because this is, I ain't got the lashes you spoke about. Now I'm going to go list.
Right.
Lashes here.
Right.
Okay. I got my hair. No extensions. You said no extensions, the crazy extension. I had no extensions, no lashes. You pick me up for a date. I come out like this. Okay. First of all, I expect you to open my door. That's one of my expectations.
Okay.
Okay. Now, do you have a problem with me showing up like this for a day? Because this is me, natural state. Here I am, no lashes, no hair out, nothing. My t-shirt, I'm comfortable. And I want to get to know you, and I want you to get to know me. So I don't have to dress up for that, do I?
Ooh, you this is a good one. This is a good one, Jen. I see what you're doing. We see you. I was gonna throw some stuff up here, but because I like to keep it real. I do. I like to keep it real. So if let's say that you didn't tell me, all right, on this first date, right? This first date, we decide we're gonna do it, but you don't tell me this is how you about to rock it. Then that is going. I would say yes. I'm gonna be checking for you like this, right? But there's a caveat. Okay. When we go out now, based on what you've done, just being practical or sensible about it, this is about to now shape where we go, because there's the societal expectations of what you need to look like if we go somewhere versus my personal expectations. So Jen, you don't tell me you coming out like this, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. It's gonna be, I see you, and you're looking kind of cute. You rocking the glasses, you got the bonnet. I see that you might be working with some. You're not, all face, your face don't look like it's heavily made up. All right, we're gonna hit the beach, we're gonna hit the park. We're gonna I'll go ahead and open your door for you, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this is how we're gonna do it. But we're gonna hit somewhere where the two of us can get to know each other. Maybe depending on where the movie theater is, I'll suggest a movie.
You taking me at the outskirts? You don't want to be seeing me?
Again, because then we have got to have a talk. If we're gonna go somewhere high profile, then now it's other stuff. Society got us where we got to be. I'm not going to show up like this. I'm not going to show up like this and try to go to, some spot that's a nice, classy place. So you hit me with a good one there. I personally would be like, okay, I see what's up here. Let's find out who she really is. That's how I respond to that.
Okay, so are your expectations, men in general, are your expectations a little ridiculous in the aspect of I cover everything else you said, the entire list, like the entire list from head to toe. I'm a helper, I'm attractive, but I just don't feel like showing you that today. I hardly know you. This is a first date, right? It's the same thing like men say, I don't go out to expensive dinners on the first date. That's ridiculous. Why spend money when you don't know somebody? Let's meet for coffee. Let's meet for drinks. So this is my let's meet for drinks, let's meet for coffee outfit. but I check all the other boxes.
Yes, yeah.
So are your expectations superficial?
If we're meeting for coffee, so for me, I like where this is headed. For me, coffee, which how you are right now, and to say how I am right now, hey, I'm riding with it because right now we're also looking the part. Most of the time, at least here in Jacksonville, go to Starbucks or some coffee spot somewhere, and that's where the college kids at. So everybody, they just showing up. We're the college kids. We're gonna sit out on the little patio. It's in the evening right now. I think it just finished raining over here, so nice and cool. You throw on a jacket. We just gonna sit. We're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna kind of find out where your mental's at, and we just gonna talk. We're gonna have our coffee. That could totally work. And I would ask you. We would have these conversations about, okay, what is it? You didn't try to get dressed up. You didn't throw the glasses up, the lashes on. You didn't get weaved all the way down, and you didn't. So what's up with that? I kind of want to find out where your head at. But that would be where for me, that's where the good stuff is. Because in a way, you coming out like this is immediately kind of setting a table here of, listen, I want you're testing me. This is a test. If you come out like this, is you're trying to find out where my mental is. Am I all about the looks? You come out some jeans and a t-shirt or whatever, some sneakers. You're not nothing tight. You're not trying to show me your assets. You're not trying to, show me the cleavage. You're just out here. So that's what's up. I would be like, okay, this might be something that we can, let's find out where we are on that. So it saves a lot of time, because most of the time something like this is, I think we definitely need to embrace the fact that we're not going to always be dressed up, because this is what
it's going to turn into.
Right.
What the relationship is going to turn into.
Yes. Just on this point, we can talk about some other things, but and if anybody wants to kind of jump in on this in the chat or come in, definitely do so, because I don't think enough of us, especially at the beginning, have that understanding that you just said. This is what it's going to turn into. We're so used to just putting that best foot forward, the best look. We're going to impress you with how good we can look, when in reality, the real substance, it ain't gonna take too long for things to be like we're just chilling with the sweats on and the t-shirt.
Not just putting the best foot forward, but expecting the best foot forward from the other person. Expecting it. Hey, I met this girl. She's hot. I know she's gonna dress up for me. Maybe I don't want to dress up. Right? Imagine a world where people dated and they didn't dress up.
Can we do that?
That would kill a lot of things way in the beginning.
Can we do that? That's I like that idea. That's so legit. Like, now, what's keeping us from doing that is social media, right? We get on social media.
Society before social media.
Right. I mean, that's what keeps us from doing it. So I wonder if we can create like almost a space, like if we and we see what the people are saying, but I wonder if there's a space for like come up with a new website, dress down dating.
No one would show up. It'd be tumbleweeds.
You
No,
think?
it'd be like 3 people and 2 gamers. Everybody in there.
I got Adrian. Adrian just jumped in. Sounds like she wants to say a little something on this one, and I welcome it. I'm telling you, I might. You say it might be tumbleweeds. Imagine I can imagine that there could potentially be a backlash to this ultra Barbie and Ken image cultivation that's happening in social media, where people are just like, look, we are tired of it. Let's go back to the 80s and the 90s when people didn't do this all the time.
It would be nice. But going back to expectations, I think that, I think we think about saying what we want, right? And we think it sounds good. I mean, in general, people are like, well, I need a guy to be this, and I need a guy to be that, and I need a guy to be this. And I'm like, sometimes you just want a guy who's going to pay the bills and smash really good. But a woman's not going to say that. A woman's going to be like, well, he has to be financially stable, and, and they leave out the important stuff, right? But like you said, this is going to happen, and this is the natural state, right? Like I said, it's going to happen anyway. So I think the expectations are ridiculous on both sides, and not only ridiculous, but not honest. They're not honest, because you just said, right? Let's say I check all the other boxes. You just said you was going to take me to a drive-in theater out in the desert.
Yep.
I have my hair done, my nails, my lashes. I have none of that done. You taking me out in the desert to some drive-in theater.
It's the same movie, though. It don't matter where we go to see it.
Ladies, do you hear this?
Because you're not dressed for where everybody's gonna be at. You're not dressed for it. That's all. You're not looking. Imagine going.
I'm not dressed like those other people. I'm not dressed how you want me to be dressed. But
no, society.
Everything is put together.
I hear you. I like how you're pressing me. I like it.
I'm just saying.
Let's bring in Adrian. Adrian, you've been waiting a little patiently. You jumping on Jen's team on this one? Y'all about to double team me?
Probably not. I'm probably gonna stratify the fence.
Okay, let me throw you on the timer. You hate this timer. You know what, Adrian? For you on this first one, since you're the first one calling in, I'm pulling the timer because you hate it. You hate it. Let's see what you.
I have a problem with the timer, Frank. I'm not even gonna lie.
But people love the timers.
Yeah, most people. A lot of people do. Adrian, she like to take her time. So let's see what you putting down.
Frank, let me tell you something. I take my time.
Oh, here you go.
Okay, no, but seriously. Do you recall what I was looking like when I was on the stream with you and Richard that time?
Yeah, I think so. I don't believe you got dressed.
No, naked. No. Naked in the face, no makeup.
Yes. Yep.
I had on probably one of my school alumni hoodies. And that's really what I look like every day. Okay. I be in the house. I love to cook. I'm not going to put on my evening gown and be stirring the pot all day. That's not my reality. Now, when I do go into the office, I do tend to dress business casual. That's what it looks like going into the office. On a very, very rare occasion, if I'm meeting with the attorney and a high net worth client, I might put on something a little bit more dressy, but that's not my everyday life. So I'm going to say again on this point, I'm going to stratify the fence. I mean, I do dress it up when I need to. I do dress it up when I need to, but my regular everyday life is not an Evan Picone suit and red bottom shoes.
Whose birthday is it?
My birthday was Monday.
Happy late birthday. Okay.
Hey.
Happy late birthday. That's what's up.
Hey, that's what's up.
Yeah. All right. All right. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just saw this up here. I wanted to say happy birthday.
And I tend to look, at folks on social media and in these YouTube streets with a side eye, because they're like, super big pimping. But like I work with high net worth clients and like old money does not conduct itself that way.
Okay.
So I'm like, where do you do that? Like, really? They doing all that?
So real quick, and I might put you on the clock for this one because Jay Bryan, I'm about to pull him in. But so I see where you're going, but now make that jibe with what we're talking about as it relates to dating.
To me, it seems a bit disingenuous to be putting on all of these airs. It doesn't seem real. It seems fake to me.
Mm-hmm. Now, is that just on the makeup
and don't
side
you
want?
On both sides. On both sides. The makeup, the lashes, the nails, the hair. On the side of the men when they're, El Guapoing it up and, renting Lamborghinis and all of that. It's too much. Like, really, make it stop.
That's what's up.
Make it stop. like Frank.
Yeah.
Frank. Can I just come over to your house? You buy some groceries.
Mm-hmm.
I'll cook us a nice meal and we snuggle up. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
Rhetorically.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Here, the funny part is that, okay, like, and I'm gonna pull because I don't want to engage as much as in the beginning while we get people in. But the funny part is that so many people just don't see it like this. You know what I'm saying? They would rather you impress them by taking you somewhere where they can, spend 100, 150 on a plate. And they get the best. You see what I'm saying? You're attacking this from a different way than I
But then what? But then what are you doing for the next? And what are you doing for the next? And then how are you using your resources to build generational wealth to the next? And keep in mind what I do for a living, the type of background that I have. Like, this is stupid. This is my opinion. Pardon me for being so hard about it, though.
We want this. This is it. Bring it. All right, real quick. I want to throw it to Jen real quick, and then I want to bring Jay Bryan in as well. Jen,
I don't have much to say, but I need to acknowledge this comment in the chat.
Which one?
Monique George.
Okay.
Says, I hear men say the natural look all the time, and then see them with heavily made up women with the biggest face, breast, and ass. I stop listening to what they want or prefer. And with that, I concur.
Oh. Okay. Okay. We'll leave it right there. Hey, you got an underline on that point right there. Maybe we'll come back to it. Let's throw it to Jay Bryant. Jay Bryant, welcome. What you got?
It's good to be back, first of all. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Great to see you guys.
Yep.
I agree with Adrian. I think the sister's name was Adrian that was just speaking. The problem is there's not a market for that. I'm actually still on the dating scene. And my position is I'm not going to go any place that I don't eat. Like, I'm not going to go to a restaurant. I'm not going to take you on a date to a restaurant I don't normally eat at. I'm not going to do something I don't normally do. Mm-hmm. Because it's recreation for me. It's downtime. When you have your own business, you don't get a lot of time off. And again, I think Adrian can appreciate what I'm saying with this. You don't have a lot of downtime, so you don't have time to really try to impress people. It's your recreation time too, so you have to make the most of it. But like how you guys are dressed right now, it's situational awareness, to be honest. If you know that you're gonna go somewhere nice, you're not gonna dress the way Jen's dressing. But at the same time, you can still have a nice time without spending a lot of money somewhere. You don't have to like hide from your friends. Like you were saying, I'm kind of gonna buck a little bit on that. You don't have to hide from your friends because your girl's not all made up or somebody's not all made up on a date. But at the same time, you can't come out with like the shower cap and expect to go to Ruth Chris or Houston's. You see what I'm saying? So there's a happy median. I'm sorry, Jen, what'd you say?
What if the shower cap has sequins? What if the bonnet has sequins?
I mean, you can't get past that. I mean, you're not going to make their dress code. Like, their dress codes in different places. If you can't make their dress code, you're not going to get me put out the place because you can't make the dress code. But at the same time, we can still go. We can still, still hit a Dave and Buster's or something like that. And hang out and kick it. I live in Savannah now. I lived in Atlanta for years, so. I'll hit Jacksonville up a lot, so I feel you on that. We'll hit a Dave and Buster's, but you can't expect a 5-star date with a 2-star look. And I saw somebody say this in the comment, and I love the natural look. Let me put that out there. But if a woman comes dressed like that, like you're dressed now, Jen, a lot of times it's because she doesn't take you seriously. I'll leave it at that.
Bring that up. Bring it. Thank you because I wanted to address that comment.
Yeah, let me say real quick too. I want to underline real quick. Thank you for respecting the guest timer because that's how we kind of roll. We like to give people their full piece and then kind of keep it moving. Thank you for that. All right, go ahead.
That comment jumped out at me. Alan said, if a woman shows up the way I'm dressed, he knows she doesn't take him seriously. So I wanted to challenge Alan a little bit. I don't know if he wants to come on the panel or he can say it in the comments. Alan, do you believe in paying for the entire date when you're dating a woman? Right? I meet you, whatever any woman meets you. And it's like,
I do.
Ask me out on a date. To pay for the entire date.
So
while we wait on Alan, we can continue.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he just popped in a yes. Go ahead, Jen.
So then I'll take off the bonnet.
There we go.
I'll be fair. I'll take off the bonnet. Fine.
Okay, see,
Put your hair back and forth.
I'll pay for the. He's paying. I'll show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to make a point. With the damn bonnet, today's dating scene, we have to admit, is really, really ugly. And the narrative that's parroted a lot is that men, right? Some of us are old-fashioned, but a lot of men in the dating scene now, like, I'm not spending money on a date. She's not going to use me for dinner. You know what I mean? She's going to have to go Dutch. She's going to have to go 50-50. And I'm like, when women are going 50-50, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. So you can't have it both ways, right? You gonna
make a quick point on that one.
I may pay for the whole day. I may show up looking like some. Okay?
So I'll make a quick point on that and then throw it to someone else who wants to speak on it. So in this environment, many of us know that and I got somebody in the back. I'm gonna pull you up. I see you. Just letting you know. In this environment, most of the time, I won't say most, but a lot of the time we're making these first contacts via social media. And so, you meet somebody on social media and from the guy's perspective, we haven't even laid eyes on the person yet. We might be looking at the best pictures that they may have, or they quote unquote might talk a good game. And so a lot of times from the guy's perspective, they're looking at it like, hey, let me I want to lay eyes on you somewhere. And I don't want that to cost me $100 or $200 just to meet you for that first time. And so but then later, if we vibe, then, I'm sure, at least I know for myself, my general thinking is, hey, we vibed. Okay, let's go somewhere really nice and do it that way. That's what I'll say on that. Jay Brian, you were gonna say something?
Yes. I think a lot of that, and this is gonna maybe cut a little bit, but that goes back to the type of guy you're dating. I mean, if you are with a guy who is looking to only pay half, go Dutch. And I mean, I get what you're saying about this is maybe on a social media type thing. That's not really my scene. But if I ask you out, I ask you out with the intention of paying. And if you are dating guys who don't ask you out with the intention of paying, you should take an introspective look on either the type of guy you're attracting or the type of guy you're saying yes to.
There you go.
I totally agree. I would not never, ever in this lifetime. Anybody's junkie they talk about you gotta pay half. Ever.
That's what's up. So you notice we got a couple people jumping in. I'm gonna let them kind of have some say on this. You do it since I think this is L. Since L made it in first, and then Alan was right behind L. I want to throw the floor to you, L. Thank you for joining the panel. And am I saying it right, L?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, welcome. What you got for us?
I think people's expectations are too high, but I think a lot of people out here on YouTube, I just think they're lying and making up stuff. I do. I think they say they want this, they say they want that. But I think when you really meet somebody the first time, and let's say you meet them in person, I don't like online dating and all that because I just need to feel somebody's energy. I kind of need to gauge you in person. I've never had anybody ask me all of this. Are you this? Are you that? Are you that? We just have a conversation. And I just think that people that say that all the time, they're either not going out on dates or they're just making it up. I always say, who does that? That all these people are talking about.
I got you. What part of the country are you in, El?
I'm in Texas most of the time, but right now I'm in Charlotte visiting my parents.
Okay. All right. So you're saying that this ain't the dating game you see?
It's not. And a lot of times I say, is it me? I didn't know a lot of this stuff went on until I started getting on YouTube and listening to some of it. And I'm like, is that? And I'm like, okay, maybe it's a generational thing. Maybe that's what's going on with people in their 20s and 30s. It's just not my experience.
Yeah, it's looking like it. All right, I appreciate that. Hang on. We're going to do a little rotation thing. Appreciate you being very timely with your comments. I'm going to ask Alan, since he was actually kind of challenged directly from Jen. Alan, bruh, I'm gonna throw this down just so we can get a good. Hang on, real quick. I want to pull this down. There we go. Alan, welcome. Thank you for calling in. And yeah, Jen is challenging you. Let's see if can you check Jen for me? I can't ever check Jen.
Put it back on.
Well, now that she took off the bonnet, the so-called Jiffy Pop bag, I could take it out anywhere.
Go ahead. I'm gonna put you on the clock. What you got?
I don't know how much I can offer because I've been out of the dating scene for over 30 years, been married for 27. But me, I'm old school. When I was dating my wife, I told her, if I'm driving you somewhere, if I want you to get in the car, I'll open the door for you. If I want you to get out the car, I'll open the door for you. When we're walking, I'll open the door for you. You don't touch any doors. I will pull the chair out. I mean, that's who I am. I'm old school with that. But if Jen, the way you came out with that bag on your head, I'm sorry, I couldn't take you seriously. Like you just want to go out with me just for, because you want me just to take you out to dinner somewhere. But I couldn't take you seriously. You had to be very, very attractive for me even just to entertain this date. honestly. But if you're just like an average type of person, I mean, I'm an average looking guy. So, but if you're an average type of woman, I would just like, I just stand there to just let you know I don't approve of this. And I might just end it right there. I don't know.
You will send her home for the bonnets?
But now check out what Jabari is saying. I mean, he's getting some cosigning here. That's old school, and I appreciate the heck out of that, brother. And you know, we're talking to a brother that is, you know, of a different generation than these 20 and 30-year-olds. What you think, Jen?
Yeah, I'm not with the let's go out and get coffee type of thing. I'm gonna take you out to dinner. If you want to see a show, a movie, that's fine or anything like that. But please don't come out with them. That's like coming out and, you know, back in the day they had the little curlers in the hair and the little wrap around and stuff like that. Or me, you know, would you want me to come there to a date, take you out to dinner, and I'm gonna have a do-rag on my head? What up, baby? You know.
Let's go to Jen real quick too on that, because you know how much of this we do have to acknowledge the generational differences on such a broad subject like this. What do you think about that, Jen?
It's absolutely a generational thing, because I'm 47, but I'm still impressed when a man says, I'm going to open the door for you, getting in the car, getting out of the car, going in the store, coming out. So, and you know, you ask someone that today, you know, who's 30 or 20, and they'll say like, well, you know, women want equal rights, and you want to be a feminist and open your own door. And I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't say what? I didn't say any of that. Like, why do you automatically assume that all women, you know, don't want someone who's a gentleman? So that sucks. You know what I mean? So, you know, I worry about this new generation in the dating game, because it's all very microwave. Yeah. But I agree 100%. I think you should put your best foot forward and your effort in. That's why, like, I completely get turned off. Like, he'd send the lady home with the bonnet on her head. I send the guy home if he's like doing a 50-50. I put my money down, and you'll never see me again.
May I say one thing?
Of course.
Yes, and then I'm gonna throw it around a little bit. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. No, I've been married for 27 years. I still open the door for her. It hasn't changed. I'm still the same way. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. All right, hang on. Since we're kind of with the panel and we've been talking about a few things, I want to throw it back to Elle and then Jay Bryant. Elle, do you have anything you want to add considering this new information we've been getting?
I like what the guy just said. I agree with him. But, you know, here's the funny thing to me. Sometimes you'll meet a guy and he'll open the doors and all of that on the first date or the first 2 or 3. But after that, you know, and it's like, I'm sorry, as a woman, you notice that. It's like, you know, hey, you know, what happened? You know, were you really like that to begin with?
Right.
I'm leery of people like that. I am one that like authentic people. And really, when I'm on a first date with somebody, that's what I'm checking for. Are you being authentic? Are you being yourself? Because here's the thing. And you got a lot of people out there not being themselves. And I work hard every day to stand 10 toes down on who I am. Because if I'm not, you're getting to know somebody else. And it's a waste of everybody's time. But a lot of people are out here just pretending. And I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's a wisdom thing or what.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does depend. Appreciate that. I don't know if you want to pick it up from there, Jay Bryant, or maybe add something else, but yeah, that does happen, Elle.
No, I don't disagree with what she said. I think it goes back to my point, though, and I'll just rest on my previous point that if guys are fake, if guys are disingenuous, if guys don't treat you like a lady, because that's really what it comes down to, you know. And maybe this is an older thing because I'm 47 like Jen. Maybe it comes down to this being a generational thing, but we open doors. Like, I've always been taught to open doors. Like, that's never been even a consideration. Like, that's just a thing. I open doors for all women, not just the women I'm dating. That's just how it is. I taught my nephews that, my younger brothers that. When people say these things, and I'm with you that the dating market for older people and the dating market for younger people are different. But it always goes back to, you really got to check who you're dating. If you're dating people that aren't treating you like a lady, either you're not putting lady vibes out or you're dating dogs. And if you lay with dogs, you get fleas.
That's an old school saying right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but in this, I'll say this. In my younger years, dating, like, you don't know that initially, right? You don't know what you're gonna get till you go on the date. I had a disaster date one time where the guy was, I thought, you know what I mean, good looking, good enough to go on a first date with. I was like, hey, I'm not doing okay, cool. Let's go dinner and a movie. And he showed up in a very junky, dirty car. I was like, okay. I got in the car and I'm like, you go through the motions. And then we get to the theater and then he parks the car. And he's like, let's go across the street to the store. Now, I don't know you. I don't know your habits. So I'm like, okay, let's go across the street to the store before we go in the theater. And then he asked me how big my bag was. And I was like, why? And he goes, because I want to buy some snacks to take in the theater.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was like, am I being punked right now? Is this for real? So I went to the motions. He took a bunch of girl, at the bodega, he took a bunch of, snacks, put them on there because they're expensive. The candy and stuff is expensive. And I'm like, okay. So put them in my bag, went in the theater, and I text my friend to call me because back then I wasn't as bold as I am now. At 47, I'd be like, peace. But back then, I text my friend and I was like, hey, call me and tell me it's an emergency so I can get out of here. And my friend called me and the phone rang and I was like, oh my God, I got to go. And I never saw him again. Never spoke to him again. Never saw him again. Completely ghosted. So I didn't know that initially, right? You don't know that somebody's going to pull that on you until you get to that date. But then it's like, bye.
So let me push back a little bit on you. That's something that people do later on. Like I will do that with my girls, for example. You know what I'm saying? If I got like some big pockets and we go into the theater, instead of paying, $8 for that theater candy, we're gonna go to, some store on the way and I'm gonna put the gummy worms and gummy bears in my pocket and go in the theater and save some dollars.
For the record, I do that too. But I have to be in a relationship. That can't be first date action.
He was just shortcutting to the real.
I think it would have been as bad if he'd have just brought the candy. It not involves her.
There you go.
Yeah, bring it in your pockets, in your coat, and then go out and bring it in. And I got this for you. That wouldn't have been as bad. But it's because he involved her in the whole thing.
I'm like, okay, now, and I'm doing something the theater doesn't want you to do. So I'm like,
exactly.
Candy in it. And I'm like, oh no, I'm aiding and abetting on a date. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm out of here. So I got out of there, and I know it just, the car was dirty, and I that's a thing about me, like a man with a very dirty car on the inside. I'm like, no, I cannot. I'm like, this is how you deal with your home and your body and your no.
No, I don't think that's an unreasonable. I'm just messing with you. I don't think that's an unreasonable expectation that you like. It's not ridiculous.
So I want to touch a little sore spot, and it may not touch a sore spot because everybody here may be over 6 feet tall. But let's get real, right? Because
I'm not.
You're not? Who?
I'm not.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if you feel like being,
hey, bring it.
Why is it that, and to all the gentlemen watching on the panel, whatever, why does it bother if it does, or maybe you know somebody that it bothers if it's not you, but have you ever felt the sting of when a woman says, I need somebody over 6 feet tall, and what that was about? Because that's one of the expectations that we hear redundantly, right? So what about that would be bothersome?
Honestly, that is funny to me. I laugh at that. And I guess I have a higher degree of confidence. I kind of always have. because I got other stuff going on. And if that's your limitation, it's your loss. You know, there was a line from I think it was Ludacris. He said, "How you ain't going, girl, I'm me." That's kind of my attitude. If you let 6 feet get in the way of moving forward, that's on you. You know, your loss, not mine. So I wish him well and keep it moving. I mean, it just isn't a thing for me. You know, and I guess it's, I played a little college ball. So
Okay.
I guess some of those things just don't bother me, but I do hear that. Now I have heard that and I see it, but I don't get offended by it. Just like I don't date larger women, women that are larger. You know what I mean? So that's a preference. Just like you want a guy that's 6 feet, I don't want a woman that's, over a certain body fat measurement. It's a preference, and I take it that way. And nobody should get offended by somebody's preference.
Mm-hmm.
I say that all the time. Like, doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter what somebody else wants, because it really has nothing to do with you, unless they're in a relationship.
Right. I mean, this goes back to how I opened it. I really feel like we are entitled to our wants, what we like, and everybody has their own thing, whatever it is, physically or emotionally, or in terms of personality. We all have our things that we like. Some people you don't have to be buff. You can just have a nice smile, or you can have pretty eyes, or you could be built, or whatever. And people are entitled to whatever it is that they like.
Yeah, I've had to explain this to a man too, because I'm 5'8", and with a good heel on, I'm about 6 feet. And me as a woman, there is something that makes me feel unsafe if I'm looking down at you or eye to eye. What that is, I don't know. And that has nothing to do with the man. If it's an insecurity, it's mine. It has nothing to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
But and I guess because maybe my first husband was 6'5". And I think that probably has a lot to do with it. But I'm telling you, me staring at a man eye to eye or looking down at him, it just, it's an unsafe feeling for me. And it doesn't have to do with him. It's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of primal,
You got big bond.
That's crazy, because I said that yesterday. Like, I grew up in a home where my dad was over 6 feet. Not only that, but he was a bodybuilder. And that's, a little girl, you feel protected around someone that's that big, and you deal with, I think, your dating like this the same way you dealt with your first male relationship.
I agree with her.
Which was your father.
My dad was 6'4". Yeah, I agree with her.
And your dad is going to leave that impression on you, right? Whether he was good or bad. So there's like, you grow up and it's like, I need, the big man, because he was the one who protected me and loved my mother. And so, of course you can divert from the type your father is, of course, but I think it's just innately, I wouldn't feel safe. I'm 5'3". I'm tiny. So I wouldn't feel safe with a guy that's 5'3" or 5'4". I would feel like we both have to fight.
She's right too, because that means in my mind, I gotta outrun you if something go down.
I want to bring the OG Patrice in. Always great when you come in. You got us a little bit later than when we started, but you're right in here. Patrice, how you doing?
I am good. How's everybody doing on the panel? Happy Friday.
Well.
Happy Friday. Yeah.
It's so funny. I came in on that because I had to put my little 2 cents in, because that was my thing too with the dating, because the ladies are right. It was a sense of security and safety for me within myself. It wasn't the guy's issue. My dad was 6'2". Both of my brothers are 6'2". I just been around tall men, and I've always dated tall men. And then, I finally dated a guy that was like 5'11", right? Like, I went there and I was like, okay, it's not that bad, but I totally get it. It was the thing of Two, when I wear heels, I'm like, if I'm dating a guy that's 5'6", 5'7", and I'm 5'7", and then I put on 3-4 inch heels. I've even worn like 4 or 5 inch heels, depending. And it's that sense of me of having to look down at him that was the issue for me. So I get what these ladies saying. They're absolutely right. But you know,
Now, excuse
I
me.
gave a guy 5'11". You know, I'll give him some action if he got good game.
Yeah, 5'11". I've gone a lot shorter than that, but I'm a lot shorter than you, Patrice. Like I'd say he was 5. I don't know. He was maybe 5'6" or 6. But like Jabari said, you know, he has such a presence, right? He had an ignorable presence. So there's always an exception. You know what I mean? It's not a strict like.
I agree with her
because he had a presence that I've seen tall men don't even have. So it's possible.
I think tall men don't feel like they have to have it because it's just there. You know what I mean? Yes. So I think for shorter men, it's going that extra mile. Every short man that like I went to school with like short guys all through school, high school, college, and they had this rambunctious extra thing going on of confidence and all of that. And I think that they kind of felt that they had to have it in order to compensate for the height, or it was just their personality. But for tall men, it just is because they already know they tall, so they don't have to try to like prove this sort of macho thing because they're already tall.
Can I push back a little bit on that? Can I push back a little?
Sure, you can. Absolutely. Object. You can object.
And let me provide a little perspective that's gonna make everybody laugh. All my brothers are over 6'3". My dad is 6'1". I have a sister that's 5'10". I'm 5'8", 5'9". I have a sister that's taller than me, but I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest grandchild. So I'm in a family of basically giants, and I'm the short guy. But I've never had an insecurity about height because other things level it out. Like you can be more athletic. You can be more charismatic. You can be, we just I've always been taught, and I've always felt you take things in their totality. So when you say that, and this is my pushback, you say some guys, tall guys have that presence, so they don't have to whatever. Well, I know a lot of tall guys. Most of my family's tall, and they have completely different insecurities that manifest themselves. It manifests themselves in how they react, how they behave. Insecurities that I would never have. We all walk in with different strengths and weaknesses. I think what we get caught up on is focusing on our weaknesses and other people's weaknesses or perceived weaknesses. Because I don't see my height as a weakness at all. I see it as an advantage because people underestimate me. I think that's really kind of how we have to look at it. And my other pushback is women look at height and don't mind pushing on that. And I'm a guy who's like, height is a thing. That's a preference women have. But at the same time, a person will get upset when you push back about weight. Like if a woman is of a certain degree of lack of healthiness, I'm going to push back against that. I'm not interested in that. Like, I'm not interested in that at all. So I think that we have to kind of have that honest conversation where everybody can accept their perceived strengths and weaknesses. But I do push back on that. I think that that's how it's perceived from the outside, that, you're tall, so, or you're short, so you have to compensate. I think for some people, it's just their personality. Yeah, it's just personality and a lack of insecurity. But I've taken a lot of time, so I'll let somebody else talk.
Appreciate it. Perceived strengths and weaknesses and being real with it. That's a point I'm just underlining right now. I won't say anything on it, but I like that point. Patrice, sounds like you want to get in on it.
Yeah, I like his point too, but I was strictly meaning with height. I meant like the guys that I went to school with that were short. I think that I said that I think they compensated in other areas to make up for the height part. So I was saying strictly regarding height. I didn't mean like in like
Oh,
other.
no, I wasn't attacking you, sis. I'm
other
sorry.
things. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, I get because I get your point. So like the taller guys, I was saying like they didn't, when it came to height, they didn't have to like, they knew they were tall, so they didn't have to like try to, you know, because I used to watch tall guys that used to have to bend down when they come through the door and stuff like that. You know, guys that played basketball, so they knew they were tall, so they had to be conscious of their height. In that sense, when they're like coming through the door and stuff like that. But other than that, they knew they were tall, so it wasn't. I guess it was like it wasn't when it came to height, it wasn't an issue for them because they were tall. But I'm saying for guys that I went to school that were short, when it came to height only, I think that they were good at other things. They compensated with other things, like they were like good in sports and good in other things that most tall guys. You know what I mean? What most tall guys, they would challenge that.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, I was about to actually throw it to you real quick. But let me say this before we do. So there's a couple of things that we have to do this evening. Maybe we can join us on some other channels. Jen has a separate thing that she's going to get to. And so what I want to do is let Jen go, and then let's do sort of a final, you know how we do. We'll do a final round where we can kind of state maybe the heart of kind of where we are on this particular thing, you know, what we want to leave everybody with. And this is something we're going to come back to, guys, either directly like this or in other ways, because, you know, I'll say for me, the authenticity piece of it just across the board is something that I want to stress. Jen, go ahead.
Yeah. Also, Patrice, you missed it. I came on with the bonnet and the glasses and everything. And they were talking about they wouldn't take me out on a date.
Oh, dang.
I was going to take it to the suburbs somewhere. Go ahead.
So let me I know what Patrice is saying, right? And I know what Jabari's saying, but Jabari, she means just like the you said the fat girls. Let me just say fat. I'm sorry if I offend anyone who's watching, but you said not healthy or whatever, just fat because we don't have a lot of time. It's just like the fat girls I knew from around the way, they would overcompensate. They would be extra nice with the guys or pay whatever, you know, pay for what the guys wanted or get the guy snacks, or she'd be the one on the block to buy the weed for the guy or buy the beer. And I was like, why are you doing that? But she's overcompensating for what she thought, I guess, the other girls that were smaller weren't going to do. So it's the same thing like with any demographic of people that's not quote unquote the chosen ones. And men have egos. And I do see men who are taller, when they're around shorter guys, they feel like, you know what I mean? They're just better than them because they're taller. I'm tall, so I'm walking in. So I've seen it on both sides. Can we find a guy who's 6'5" who's completely insecure? Absolutely. We absolutely can. I know people who are over 6 feet and they're, you know, complete idiots. But I think that's what it means. Like some people, when they don't feel like they're the chosen demographic, they do overcompensate. Because I've seen some girls do some crazy things for guys. And I'm like, why are you doing that? But then it's like, okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
after this, I'll be on Conversations with King. Patrice, I wish you were on that platform yesterday. It was fireworks. But we're supposed to have.
You should have emailed me. You should have emailed me.
It just jumped off so fast that I was like, what is happening? It was, the subject was like Latin women versus Black women. What's the issue? It got really crazy, but supposed to be going on there again. Right after this is Conversations with King, and Conversations with a K, not a C. And you're all welcome. You're all welcome. It's a fun panel. It's just yesterday it went left. And I was like, okay. So
why is that still a thing? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Why is that still Latino women versus Black women? Like, for the life of me, I don't understand why we're making that a thing. Like, I just, for the life of me, don't understand why there has to be a competition between those two groups.
Right. I don't think it's a thing at all. It's not in my world, it's not a thing. But on social media, it's a thing and it gets clicks. But in my world, it's not a thing. So.
Right. You know what? Maybe you'll hop over there and kind of say some things, because that's what they were talking about. And we may do some, right. We may do something like that with objections. I don't see what happened yesterday coming to a resolution. anytime soon. So
It
we're
was
gonna have
heavy. It was heavy.
jump
Hey,
in.
do y'all check out who I'm on that picture with on my avatar?
I can't see it.
That Joe?
Who's that? That's
Yes,
that Joe.
that's my Puerto Rican friend. Yes, and one of my best girlfriends is Puerto Rican. I worked with Fat Joe. I did some recording with Fat Joe. Yes. Hello.
I know it's not.
That's what's up. All right, let's do this.
No.
I want to take it with by throwing it over to Jay Bryant, and then we're gonna go L, and then Alan, and then we'll Patrice, and I'm gonna give you the guest timer to kind of sum up your thoughts on this particular one for this evening. We are coming back to it. We're coming back to it.
Vaughn said it got really ugly. Vaughn was there. Vaughn, you were there yesterday. I was like, what is going on? It's
Okay, so I'm gonna throw the clock up. Jay Bryant, what you got?
I'll keep it simple. Find a gentleman, date a gentleman, be a lady. Be a lady, and you'll attract gentlemen. Men, look for a lady. If you recognize that she's not a lady, leave. Being cute isn't going to make her any more of a lady. And I'm done.
Ho ho! I love it when we're concise like that. Adrian, where you at? I'm messing with Adrian. Okay, let me swing it down to. I think I said I was going to L.
I'm leaving. The hell with y'all.
What you got, L?
Like this about date. Tired of y'all.
What you got, L? L. Oh, I'm sorry, L. You're muted. Go ahead and unmute yourself. I may have muted you earlier to keep the stream clean. All right, go ahead.
L is frozen.
Uh-oh. There you go. I think you're still muted. Let me unmute you. Let me do it. All right, go ahead, L.
Yeah, I just think people need to be authentic. If you're come with your authentic self and you sense that somebody's being inauthentic, to me, that's a deal breaker. Because I don't know, I'm an energy person, and we talked about this last week. And if that energy is off, it's a wrap for me.
Authenticity. All right. So Elle is tracking with me a little bit on that one. Anything else you want to add to that, or does that sum it up a lot for you?
That sums it up for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. As you're going through, I'm gonna actually be go ahead and put you guys in the back. Definitely stay on and definitely stay in the chat as well. So I'll be going ahead and putting. Thank you, Jay Bryant, for everything here. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the bag. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in the bag. L, again, appreciate the contributions as well, and come back for the next one. I'm gonna go ahead and bring Alan. Alan, what are your final thoughts on this particular subject? And let me unmute you too. Hold on. I think you have to unmute yourself, Alan. Alan might not be here. Alan. There you go.
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah. You guys did?
Yes.
Yeah. I have to agree with I think Jabari, that's what his name is. I'm 5'8" as well. And I guess I can be funny at times and great energy and everything like that. But this is what I am. You take it or leave it. I'm just like he is, But I enjoyed the show, and thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Please come back.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome anytime. All right, Patrice, what you got? Uh-oh. Patrice, there you go.
I'm here. Yeah. So so the original topic was about the objections of both sexes or something being ridiculous. It's the expectations. Okay, so
there it is.
My thing, I'm really big on authenticity too, but unfortunately, in the dating scenes that people don't always be true to who they are, especially when you first meet them. So it's hard to tell. You have to, sometimes it takes a minute to vet people out to really get to know them. But I think if you're dating them and you know, and you go on a few dates and you starting to see red flags, I think you should pay attention to those red flags, and not, if any inclination or gut feeling or anything that you have, you should probably believe it when it happens the first time, right? Because people are really good about bringing their representative to the table. So just be careful with that. And I say, you know, date, you know, be careful, have fun, but you know, if you're dating on a serious note, then you definitely have to really truly vet people out. So with that being said, just have fun and be careful, and hopefully you find love, whatever that looks like for you, you know, no matter what, no matter who they are, what color, whatever. Just, we love who we love. We find, you know, we be in relationships with who we want to be in them with, and dating is a fickle thing right now. The main thing is be careful.
Mm-hmm. I can definitely co-sign that as well. Very wise comments from the OG Patrice. Thank you for the wise words. So I'm going to go ahead and put you in the back as well. And I want to give a shout out to,
thank you, Frank.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
No, Sam, thank you so much. All right.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, and then let me give a shout real quick to, I like to call him Vaughn the Great. He hit me with the supporting Cash App. Always appreciative of the financial support in the show as well. So you're supporting in any way. This stuff is good. Letting us know, of course, that you like and picking up what we're putting down, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jen. So we get to close it out here. Any final thoughts on this?
I just want to say thank you, Vaughn. I see your comments. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, back to what Patrice said, it's about connection at the end of the day. I think that also, what was it, L, who said, you know, people have these lists. It doesn't matter when you meet somebody, because we all have that little list, and it's like we can meet someone with that list and vibe with them or not. So it's about vibe, it's about connection, it's about chemistry at the end of the day. That's how we end up with people who are not, quote unquote, our type, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's about that. Be careful, you know what I mean? Be vigilant and be yourself. You know what I mean? I think if you're coming as yourself, you know, it'll be easier to tell if the other person is being authentic or not. But if you're putting on airs and the makeup and the extra this and the extra that, you're probably too busy into yourself to even look across the table and be like, he's full of it. So, and don't go to the bodega before you go in the theater, no matter how big your bag is. Don't get the snacks for him on the first date.
Lesson learned on that one from the personal experience from Jen. Gotcha. Well, same thing. You know, what I'll say in final comments is that I think that we all, like most people, I would like to think anyway, are good people. And we out here, you know, in these dating streets, trying to find someone who I think, you know, who we think can fit with us. And I think it's just good for us. I think the question might be along the lines, the answer to the question might be on the lines that a lot of times these expectations are ridiculous. Maybe a lot of them are, but a lot of them are sensible. We are entitled to sort of like what we like. And for me, I think the closer, the more we can make that beeline towards meeting the real person and getting to know the real person as opposed to the representative, the quicker we can find ways to connect. And so we ourselves should be, in my opinion, looking to try to get past the fake, you know, the stuff that's not authentic as much as possible. And we ourselves should be looking to not present things that are inauthentic as much as we can. And that might be something this is important for me, like I mentioned in the beginning of the streams, because we all deserve, we're trying to find somebody who we can be with. And I think that everyone is better off if we can find and couple up with that person who, you know, we value and honor and can build a life with. And so we should be trying to promote that, you know. So maybe we'll just kind of see where this goes. Let's see if we got a lot of singles coming on Talk with Frank Gooden and Objections. And you never know, maybe we'll find some kind of way to, you know, encourage people to kind of get to know each other. What you think, Jen?
I'm willing to give out some advice.
Yeah.
Some tough love advice, some tough love, right?
Right. Just a good perspective.
Tough, long as it's love, right? We could get Bolo back too, because he's all about the
right. Definitely get Bolo.
The truth with love. The truth has to be served with love. With that said, you know, it's okay to have expectations. It's okay, right? I don't believe in settling either. You should not settle, but just make them realistic. We're all trying to do this life thing out here.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, guys, as you know, we with Objections are over here tonight, but guess what? Tomorrow we're going to be over there in Jen's space on the block with Jen, and that's how we do over here, over there, over here, over there. And so, as always, definitely subscribe if you haven't yet. We have I think some people came through that have never been on this channel before. So if you haven't subscribed to Jen's channel, on the block with Jen, you'll see it in my description. Go ahead and click that and subscribe so that you know when Jen comes on with Objections tomorrow. And let's keep this going and keep these great topics going. And always the great attitude that we have, bring it with passion, but with respect. And that's what we're built for. And, you know, as many of our long timers know, this was a fun one tonight. And we all got a chance to jump in, but we hit topics now where people bring it. And we still all come back.
I picked on you in the beginning because you said you were going to take me out in the desert.
No, I get it. That was lightweight. I deserved that one too. I deserved it. I deserved it. But yeah, we definitely can bring the passionate points of view as we move forward. So I'm seeing some good stuff here. Jen, anything you want to say before I throw it to our outro?
Just love and light, and please keep coming back because we can't do this without your objections.
We need them. All right, I'm gonna throw the outro. Please leave your comments at the end, and everybody have a great weekend. See y'all later.
Wow.